Hello, everyone. Well, they're really going to call me AD Junior now. I've got a guest with us tonight. He's a little camera shy, but this guy's name is Scrappy. And I don't know if you can tell because obviously I have a green screen behind me. But where my son and his girlfriend moved out, I moved my YouTube room, my green screen, my computer desk chair. I moved everything into the empty bedroom. And I noticed that with doing that, the little halo that used to be on my screen is not there anymore. But I'm going to say hello to everyone. How's everyone doing? Um, I just had I'm getting messages to let you guys know. One of the guy I grew up with in Winchester, he's my age. My mom just called me and said he had a heroin overdose and died. Um, so that's what I've been looking at on my phone. Just want to say hello to everyone. Hello. Um, well, let me tell you about Scrappy here, how he came about. Uh, Yesterday, a friend of mine on Facebook, I don't really know this person, but I went to school with her brother, and we're friends on Facebook. And she made a post that she had found a dog in the middle of the road and was afraid it was going to get hit. And she, put the post up that if anyone knew who this dog belonged to, she was going to keep it overnight. And that's as long as she could keep him because she had three other dogs and they wouldn't hurt him, but they were like pits and they're bigger. And he was just frightened of them and scared of them. So I told her, I said, don't take that dog to the pound. I'll take him and keep him till anybody claims him. Or if nobody claims him, I'll just keep him. And anyways, I went and picked him up. He was a few miles away out in the country from me. And today, the girl contacted me and said, well, the owner came forward. And they described him. And that's how I knew his name was Scrappy, the person that owned the dog. And what I done was this morning before the owner came forward, I took him to the vet to see if he had a chip in him so we could find out who he belonged to. And he didn't have a chip, and they kind of looked him over. He had a tick in his neck that was buried in his skin. So they pulled the tick out, and they also gave him a flea treatment. He wasn't eat up with fleas, but my daughter did see a couple fleas on him. So anyway, the owner come forward and told us that they described him to a T and said he lived down the road, and they knew the owners. He's camera shy. But he's such a loving dog. He laid all night slept with my daughter last night, right by her side. And if I lay down, he lays right down with me. He's house trained, so he goes outside to use the bathroom. He did poop in the house last night, I guess, while we were all asleep. I guess he just couldn't hold it. And luckily, it wasn't diarrhea or anything like that. It wasn't good and solid, just a few little pieces. And so he's house trained, and if you tell him to sit, he sits. If you tell him to give you a paw, he gives you a paw. So they took the tick out of him. They gave him a flea treatment, and the owner said, well, whoever has got the dog, just tell him if he wants him, they can keep him. because they're afraid that he's going to get hit out there on that country road, because that's where the girl found him, was in the middle of the road, and she stopped and got out. And this is a busy road. It was dangerous for her to do this. And she stopped and got out and got him out of the road. And the owner said, well, it's dangerous out here where I live. He goes in the road. I'm afraid he's going to get hit. I live on a street that's pretty much not a lot of traffic, even if he, wandered out there. But he's really good. Like when I take him outside to use the bathroom, if I tell him something, like he'll want to wander into another yard, if I holler at him and say, hey, come here, he comes right back. And so hopefully he knows, and he loves to be loved on. I mean, he is absolutely just I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, affectionate dog. It's like when you're sitting with him, he always wants to have like some part of his body touching you. Like he'll put his paw on my leg, and I don't know what he's trying to do now. I think he's trying to get up here and on my shoulder. But he's just such a loving dog. He's not very big. I know he looks a little bit bigger on the screen, but he's kind of a small dog. I went and got him a collar and a leash, and I got him a couple of toys, a little squeaky toy, and he's been playing with that. And I got him a couple of bones that are chicken flavored because he seems to like chicken. But just look how affectionate this dog is and how loving he is. It's like if I went and laid down, he would come and lay down with me, and he would put his paw on me or some part of his body against me, because it feels like he just like wants to be touching you. And I think he wants to go to sleep right now, because he was playing with his toy, and I looked over and he was just completely passed out. So he'll be a good dog for me, because I'm a lazy person. I like to lay around too. I think he might be a little camera shy. Give him a look there and tell him hello, Scrappy. Say hello, hello. But whoever was saying, what breed is he? I have no idea. Burping him, yeah. He's such a loving dog, and I got him a collar. He didn't like it at first when I first put the collar on him. He tried and tried and tried like hell to get that collar off. And now I guess he's just kind of accepted that he's got a collar on. And I got him a leash so we can take him walking, a few toys. He didn't like dry dog food. I had a bag of dry dog food. He wouldn't eat that. And I went and got him a can of that blue, it's blue something. It's like a really popular brand. It's supposed to be really good for dogs. It was in the can, kind of like a wet dog food. And I don't like giving them wet dog food because it can give them like runny poop. And, but anyway, he at least ate it, because he wasn't eating anything. Actually, the only thing he was eating was what I was eating. Like we went and got, me and my daughter went and got some chicken nuggets from McDonald's, and he ate a few of them. And that's why I got him chicken flavored bones, and he loves them. So anyway, I think that's it. Blue Buffalo, I believe. Yeah, sweet. You're right. The little dog that was on Scooby Doo, the little one was Scrappy Doo. But anyway, so I've got me a little dog, a little companion. After my son and his girlfriend moved out, I live alone. And especially now with being quarantined, it really does get kind of lonely, and nothing really to do except watch TV. So I got me a little companion now, somebody that will lay with me, and he can be bored with me. But he loves to lay down. If I went and laid down, he would lay down right now. He's such a loving dog. Yeah, Lisa, and that's a really good idea. really good idea. And I also got him some training treats, the Blue Buffalo training treats, and he won't eat them either. I've gotten 2 different bags of treats now, and he won't eat either one of them. So I don't know. But I've got me a little companion, someone to go through the coronavirus with me. And I don't know. He was, somebody must have dropped him or something, because he seems like he's really nervous when you're picking him up. Seems like he keeps turning and wanting to be close to me. So I don't know if somebody's dropped him in his life or anything like that. But you see, like, I'm gonna let him down so he can lay in the floor. But I just wanted to show. Well, he just jumped out of my arms. So I just wanted to show you guys what I got last night. I got a little dog, obviously. Let me see what my messages are, because of what happened. Like I said, I was telling you guys earlier when the live first started, a guy I grew up with. I don't want to say his name, because if anybody's watching that hasn't heard, like family members that may not have been identified or notified or anything yet, I don't want to see them to see that on my live. So I was just kind of reading my messages to keep up. Because my mom called and told me this. So he's over there sniffing around in the floor. He uses his nose a lot. Like, I don't know, like a tracking dog or a hound dog or something like that. He just seems like he uses his nose a lot, like he smells and things like that. Hello, Marie. How are you? It's good to see all you guys here. 39 people. I probably won't stay on very long. You guys know that I'm a huge wrestling fan, and actually, a lot of people tried to get Vince McMahon to cancel WrestleMania. And of course, when Owen Hart fell from the rafters and died in the ring, the show went on. Vince didn't stop the show. He went on and had the rest of the pay-per-view. And there was actually blood in the ring from where Owen Hart had fell and actually died laying there in the ring. Hello, B. Shelligan. Yes, Sweet Bilby, wrestling is still on. Actually, that's what I was going to say. It's over 2 nights. It is WrestleMania. It's going to, instead of being 1 night, it's going to be 2 nights. The guy I was telling you, I'm going to have to turn the light on because the sun's going down, and that's what I was using, was light from the sun. So I'm going to have to turn the light on, or it's going to be getting dark in here. And as you guys can see, that changed the screen a little bit. So let me go fix that. So it messed with it a little bit. I have to see if I can get it right. I think that's a little bit better. So when the lighting changes, the green screen can change a little bit. The Undertaker, well, Don, the Undertaker is actually wrestling. I don't know if they're doing it over 2 days, and actually it's already recorded because they're doing the WrestleMania at the Performance Center that's in Orlando, Florida. And Florida now has a lockdown. So what they done is over the last week before the stay-at-home order became into effect, they went ahead and recorded WrestleMania. And they said it's going to be really neat. There's no fans. It's just a wrestling ring and things like that. Vince McMahon would not stop the show. Some people dropped out of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, he's had leukemia come on in twice in his lifetime. And I'm going to let the dog out so he can go downstairs. It's what he wants to do. So give me a second. Go on if you want to go. Go on. Go on. You can go. And when you can go lay on the couch, go ahead. You're good. See you later, buddy. I'll be down there in a minute. All right, so he wants to go down there and lay down on the couch. All right, so anyways, they're going to have WrestleMania over 2 different days, Saturday and Sunday, which I think is a really good idea because the last few years, WrestleMania has been like 7 or 8 hours long. And I get, sitting at the house watching something that long is hard to do for me sitting at home. I couldn't imagine being in a plastic chair. Hey, quit that. I guess he wants back in. Hang on. Don't dig the carpet up. Come on. His tail just is always a wagging. And I think he wants me to come lay down with him. He's Ange, actually, our governor gives us a update every day at 5 p.m. and the number of people with COVID-19 has gone up. The number of deaths have gone up every day. They do say that over the long run, that this stay at home and social distancing where you keep 6 feet away from everybody will bring this curve down. I was watching a thing on, it got me real interested if, has this happened before, things like that. I mean, I know it has, but it got me interested to find out to what extent. So I went back and watched a documentary on the 1913 Spanish flu. And in Europe, they said it killed 25 to 30% of. What are you chewing on? Let me see that. What are you doing? You can't just chew on something. I don't know what he just ate. Oh, sorry about that. But we went to Walmart earlier to get some stuff for the dog and things and dishwashing liquid. And they've got the police set up at the entrance. And they're only allowed, it's a big number in the town I live in because, it's not a huge town. It's not a small town, but it's not a huge town. It's just kind of like one of them towns I really like. But anyway, they're limiting the people that go into Walmart no more than 500. And I spoke to one of the police officers, and she said that it really hadn't been a problem, that the numbers usually been around like 300. But they're there just in case. Quit that. Don't chew the carpet up. Quit. Hey, quit. His tail's just a wag. But anyway, when I tell him to stop, if he's doing something, like just now he was trying to chew on something on the carpet. As soon as I tell him to stop, he stops and he'll come over and sit down. So he listens really good. Yes, pretty much all the states here are on lockdown. Quit that. There's something about the carpet. He's trying to chew it up. I can hear him pulling on it. And he don't like that collar, so he's got his back leg scratching on him. But anyway, our governor, he gives us an update every day at 5 p.m. on the number of cases, the number of deaths. No, I haven't heard that, Ange, people spitting on each other. I haven't. I was watching a video. You see these people wearing these masks, and I seen a video where a doctor was saying that wearing that mask might not be a good idea. I'm trying to get this because I guess it's where the sun's setting. It keeps changing. I can see the different effects. Um, but they was saying that this doctor, of course, different doctors are going to have different opinions. That's why, you always say, well, I'm going to get a second opinion from a different doctor. Um, so, you guys are talking about people that are sick, that are high risk. Um, my son is high risk. He has type 1 diabetes. So he's what's considered high risk. Um, this is we're living in times that I'm 43 years old and I've never seen things like. Of course, we had a pandemic in 2009. A lot of people don't remember that, um, but I think it was SARS. I don't know. I could go back and look, but it was a pandemic in 2009. It killed more people than what COVID-19 has, but COVID-19 is still, going. It's not being stopped yet. And it could be up to a year before they actually have a vaccine for it. Um, but I went back and watched actually AIDS is still considered a pandemic. I thought, what has AIDS killed? Like 30 million people or 3 million people? It's a lot. Um, so AIDS is a pandemic. Elysian, you're right. There was a doctor in China who came out and said, I'm seeing this virus and I believe this." And suddenly they said this doctor actually caught the virus and died. Um, I mean, it's a little bit suspicious to me that this doctor that suddenly come out and I guess pretty much they think alarmed people, but he's just told the truth. He was trying to get people to be aware that things like this could happen. Yeah, this doctor that came out and said he supposedly died of the virus, Sweet Billy. It seems suspicious to me that this doctor that came out and I guess you could call him a whistleblower in the medical field, because China is not very truthful, it seems, when it comes to things like this. One thing I learned from watching this documentary, he was 33 years old, I believe, Sweet Bilby, this doctor that died from the coronavirus, COVID-19. And watching this documentary, they said pretty much once you have COVID-19, your body will build up immunity to it, and the chances of having it again are slim. It's kind of like chickenpox when you was a kid. Once you got the chickenpox, you did not have to worry about getting them again. And if you go back, it's pretty good. It's on YouTube. If you type in pandemics, it'll how it comes up with all the videos that it recommends. There's one that talks about the Spanish flu in 1918. People were on lockdowns then, and different things like that. But it's hard to believe how many people died in that Spanish flu. You really need to go back and watch that because, like I said, they said it killed um, like so many percent of the population of Europe. They're predicting um, if this is done perfectly with the lockdown, people obeying, staying home 6 feet away from people, that it could be between 100,000 and 240,000 people that will die in the United States. And worst case scenario, it could be 10 million. So it's definitely trying times. Businesses are shut down. If you're not considered an essential part of, I guess, the world, like somebody that works in a grocery store or somebody that works in a pharmacy, anything like that, these people have to go to work. I was told that they are going to give people that are considered essential employees here in Kentucky a letter, and also, then it'll have your name. And then, like, say, for instance, if you're pulled over by the police and, hey, where are you going? You can show them the letter that you're headed to work or you're coming home from work. And pretty much go and do your job and be done. It's would I get the vaccination? I don't know. Man, would you? They had one woman in Washington State on one of the lives I done a couple weeks ago. And I think it was Washington State. She had took a trial, vaccine to. It was a trial run to see how it. She took the shot, and that, to me, that would be scary. To take the trial of the vaccine, because what if it does the opposite and kills you or something? That would just be bad. Well, Sweet Bilby, I think I pretty much know how that feels. About 3 years ago, I think I've told this story before, but some of you might not have heard it. I had my tonsils out at 40 years old, which your tonsils out at 40 years old is a very dangerous surgery. And afterwards, I got where I couldn't breathe. I mean, really, I couldn't. I'd be like, could not breathe at all. Well, I thought I had like bronchitis, or I was congested in my chest or something like that. I went and took a hot shower. And I was married at this time, and my wife was here. And I got out of the shower and I collapsed on the floor and I was naked, which is very embarrassing when you have to call 911 and you're naked. Anyway, I finally got a pair of shorts on. But I told her, I said, call 911. And they took me straight to, around here, there's local hospitals. And then if it's a serious situation, they transport you to the UK hospital, the University of Kentucky Hospital in Lexington. And they took me straight to UK. They didn't even take me to the local hospital. They was originally going to release me on the street from the emergency room with a very powerful antibiotic. This probably saved my life, guys. Is what happened is they had a shift change. It was 11 o'clock at night, so the third shift nurses and the third shift doctors were coming on. They already had my paperwork up that they was going to release me. The nurse that came in that night for her third shift took my vitals. She said, I have to take your vitals one more time before you leave. Thank God she did. Hello, Linda. How are you? Hello, everyone. It's hard to say hello to everyone individually. I know some people get upset if you don't address them, personally. So just hello, everyone. But anyways, back to the story. The nurse that came in that night, my oxygen level in my blood, or I guess in my bloodstream, was like 83. And it's supposed to be anywhere from like 94 to 97, something like that. So this nurse says, I'm not discharging you to the street with a oxygen level in your blood that low. So she says, just be patient. She leaves the room and comes back, and it's the doctors and the nurses that had been treating me all day long. And then there was a new doctor that came in the room, and it was a lady, and she was over the whole, I guess, emergency department. And they all kind of said, what's going on here? And this nurse stood up. This one nurse, thank God she saved my life. She said, he does not need to be discharged. His oxygen level is 83. And she said, I have student loans I'm paying back. It took me this many years to get my nursing degree. She was an RN. And she said, if I discharge this man and he goes out here and he dies, his family could sue me, or I could lose my nursing license. And I'm not discharging him. If you all want to discharge him, you can, but I'm not. So anyway, they all leave the room. And they come back and they said, you're going to be staying a few days with us. Okay, now this is where the story gets interesting to me. They put me on a bed and they take me and put me in the elevator, and we go up, a couple floors, come off, and I see it says intensive care unit. And I looked at the lady that was pushing my bed and I said, am I in intensive care? And she said, yeah, you're in critical condition. And I was like, what? So anyway, they take and put me in this glass room. And they diagnosed me. They said, you've got pneumonia and a possible blood clot in your lung. And they said, you're going to be staying a few days with us. So anyway, I go from getting ready to be discharged to the street to go home to intensive care in critical condition. And I just don't see how that can happen. That really blew my mind. Anyways, I was in intensive care for 1 or 2 days. I can't remember. And then they moved me to a regular room, and I was in the hospital for a total of a week. I had a pneumonia. And you talk about hard to breathe. It was unbelievable how hard it was to breathe with pneumonia. Hello, Christy May. How are you? So I don't know if this COVID-19 is anything like pneumonia. Yeah, Ange, thank God for that nurse. No kidding. If I would have went home, I probably might have died, because I had to take breathing treatments like one every hour. It was unbelievable. I was in a glass room. I was in intensive care in critical condition, and this woman comes in and she's got a Q-tip, and I'm serious, it's about this long. And she said, everybody that's in intensive care, she says, we have to run this Q-tip up your nose to a certain point, and then pull it out on both sides in both nostrils. And it hurt really bad. It did. And it was iodine on these Q-tips. Yeah, I know, Christy. You talk about I'm smoking a cigarette. My dad died. Now, he was a smoker for years. He had a heart attack and he quit smoking. And the last 3 years of his life, he didn't smoke because he quit. And then 3 years later, he passed away from respiratory failure from lung cancer. Then here, this happened to me. You would think I would be the last person in this world to be smoking a cigarette. And it's crazy. Now, my daughter asked me, my daughter moved, by the way, I'm not in the kitchen anymore. I'm in the spare bedroom that my son and his girlfriend had, and they moved out. They got their own place. So I hope that these people that make these videos on me, I hope they're okay with my son moving out and his girlfriend. Some people was really worried about my son being here. I don't know why. They didn't pay the bills. It's not their house. I don't know why certain people got upset over my son and my adult son and his girlfriend living here. They had just moved back. What it was, my son and his girlfriend, they went to Washington State and they was going to live out there with a friend. And something happened. My mom always said you can't have two hens in one house. I didn't know what that meant for a long time, but now I do. You can't have two women in the same house. So I don't know if the girls didn't get along or whatever, but anyway, they come back to Kentucky, and coming back, you got to get your stuff in order and, get your place. So they stayed with me. I have three bedrooms. One's bedroom's mine, one's my daughter's, and then there's pretty much just a spare bedroom. Well, they stayed in there. But they have their own place now, and I hope that satisfies people that my adult son and his girlfriend is no longer living with me. Although I have no idea why someone would worry about that. Um, Now, not this same person that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you now. I'm talking about somebody else. Emailed my ex-wife and asked questions about me and questions about my uh, underage daughter, which and then they're scared of being doxxed. If you come and you email my family and you ask questions about my underage daughter, I am going to try to find out who you are. Most people would, because you start wondering, what's the purpose of this? Why are you emailing my family or my ex-wife, what have you, and asking questions about me, my son, and my daughter? Um, so when you do this, yes, I am going to try to find out who you are, and I have found out who you are. And if it's pretty much settled down, I believe. But if this same person that done this, I know their name, I know where they work, I know their phone number, I know all the information, and I will, release that if they don't leave my family alone. But anyway, my daughter moved me from the kitchen to the spare bedroom, so that's where I'm at right now. And as you remember that when I was in the kitchen, there was that like circle um, on my camera because we remember I kept pointing it out. So anyway, that's gone now that I'm in this spare bedroom, and the lighting seems to be good. Um, yeah, Ange, I agree. If you're a professional, you know, you shouldn't release information about people anyway, in my opinion. And somebody, said, let it go. And I have let it go, but if they done this to you, you would probably try to find out who this person was too, because you want to know who this is that's emailing your family. Um, I'm just looking at messages here because I said at the first of my video, um, one of a friend of mine. Well, I don't. And he's not necessarily a friend. We was friends when we were younger. The whole family actually grew up across the street from me. Um, it's tea. It's really good tea too. I got it at Walmart. It's Milo's sweet tea. It's really good. Hello, Antoinette. How are you? Um, yep, that's how what I done, Elysian, to find out who the person. There was one person that thought I was talking about them when I said they emailed people in my family, and that I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about somebody completely else. Yes, Christy, I did see the affidavit for the Gannon case, and it's shocking to me. It's in a way hard to fathom that a stepmother could do this um, to a child that she is supposed to protect. If if you marry someone and they have a child, you can't. If you don't love and accept that child, then you can't love that mother or that father because that child is part of them. So when you marry that person, and you have to accept that child that belongs to that person you're marrying. And if you can't do that, then you should not marry that person. And this is all my opinion. Um, I know, man, and thank you. I understand what you're saying. I really do. Um, oh yeah, Patricia, I agree completely. Um, but talking about this stepmother, um, I don't know if I married a woman and she had a child. Um, I can't imagine murdering a child anyway. In my head, I try to think about it. I really don't want to imagine it, but I just try to think like what maybe their state of mind or something is, and I can't even get my mind to go to that point. Thank you, sweet Bilby. Uh, this is what happens when your work is shut down and you're home and you're bored and you have absolutely nothing to do. You go to the bathroom and think, what would be a good idea to trim my beard? And if you're trying to grow your beard out, it's never a good time to trim your beard. Um, so I went to the bathroom and I trimmed my beard. And so I think it made my face look thinner. People think I've lost weight. Well, I haven't lost weight. I'm still a fat ass. It's a fat fuck, as they say. Uh, but I weighed myself. I have lost a few pounds. It's not much, but I think what mainly makes my face look thinner is how I've trimmed my beard. Uh, but trying in my mind, I try to imagine, you know, this Letitia woman, Letitia, whatever her name is, how can she get to this point where she says, I'm gonna murder this child that when I married the father should have accepted as my own. I don't like using the word stepdad, stepmom, stepson, stepdaughter. Um, I know that's the terms that are used, the language that is used, but I don't like it. If you marry the father or the mother and there's a child, you've basically accepted that role, in my opinion. And I can't even imagine, um, you know, what her mindset would be when she says, I'm going to kill my stepson, you know. There must be something wrong with people's brains because I can't get my brain to go to that point. I couldn't imagine murdering a 12-year-old child off the street in a school as my, a stepchild or a child of the person I married. I, I can't get my brain to think about that. And that's probably a good thing because I want to think about it for the reasons that I'm interested in how this came to happen. Um, but where I can't get to that point in my mind, I think it's good. I don't know. It blows my mind that this person that even I don't like talking about the Chris Watts case. You guys know that. I've talked about this before. But sometimes it has to be brought up because the whole reason I have a YouTube channel is because of the Chris Watts case. Um, I used to use YouTube to um, when I would be working on my vehicle or fixing something in the house, doing something plumbing wise. I would go to YouTube, and it's the greatest thing in the world. And then the Chris Watts case come up, and I was addicted to everything about it. And that's what made me start my channel. Um, this lady was the stepmom to Gannon, this child. Chris Watts was the father to these two beautiful girls. How could he get to the point to kill them and then stick them in an oil battery? I don't know if you guys know what this oil they're talking about that's in these um, batteries look like. I used to work at a power plant. We had the same thing. And this oil is almost like a sludge. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Um, but you murder your child and you stick them in something like that. How can you do that? I disciplined my daughter one time, and after I did it, I felt so bad I almost cried myself. It's hard on me. Sometimes you have to discipline kids to teach them, and I don't know. I'm just I cannot even fathom this. I don't know. Um, the affidavit is posted on the Facebook page, True Crime Files, which is a page I created. A lot of you guys are on it. But Kelly Kells, she's one of my mods. She posted the affidavit. So if you haven't seen it or haven't read it, you can go to the True Crime Files page and read it. And just be prepared. I don't know. Oh, Sweet Billy, he's a monster. He really is. Um, there's no other way to describe him except as a monster. Um, so I don't know. I don't know how these people, these parents, stepmom, stepdads, dad, real dad, as a father, I can't imagine it. I really cannot. There's nothing my daughter could do that would put me to that point. There is no woman, like for instance, if I went out and found a woman, and this has happened before with the case in South Carolina from 20 years ago now. Susan Smith, I think, was her name. But basically, she was dating a guy, and he had broken off with her because he said he didn't want to date someone with kids. And she put her kids in the car and rode the car in the pond and watched her kids go in the pond and drown right in front of her face, and then made up a horrible story that a black man had carjacked them. There's no woman in this world I could meet that would say, I don't want kids. Well, sorry, I'm not the person for you then. Manon says, what I still don't get is she's a mother herself. How can you lose yourself to that line? Have 3 sons and sure have been mad. But this is, I have no words. I agree completely. And she says, women that do that to their children are disgusting. Yes, they are. I don't understand it. And to a certain point, I want to understand it just for the simple fact of being able to understand it. Having this channel, true crime is interesting to me. I want to know the facts, the details, everything about it. And then when you get down to the nitty gritty and you find out exactly the exact facts that what these people have done, like when you read the Letitia arrest affidavit, you're like, how can this happen? How can it get to this point? I was talking to someone the other day. I can't even remember who, and I said, when did Letitia get to this point in her mind where she says, I'm gonna kill him? When in her mind does it get to that point is something I would, like to know. Sweet Bilby, you are correct. It's incomprehensible. I believe to people that do not have a mental illness, these people have to have some sort of mental illness, in my opinion. This isn't my opinion, guys. This is me talking how I feel about it. I just don't see how they can, when they have to have a mental illness. They have to, because, like Sweet Bilby, it's incomprehensible to her. It's incomprehensible to me. So when did it get to the point where she says, I'm going to murder my stepson? Patricia Allen, you're fine. If you want to vent here, it's perfectly fine. You can vent here. People can say what they want here. It's a lot of people say that I, delete people now and things like that. If you come in and you want to add to the discussion, you want to participate in what we're talking about, that's perfectly fine. If you want to come in and you just want to disrupt, you want to be a smart ass and different things like that, absolutely. I'm going to, when I first started my channel, I said, everybody has a voice, everybody has an opinion, and you can say what you want here. And to a certain degree, I've learned a lot. I was green as could be when I first started my channel, and I've learned a little bit now. Not much. I'm like an infant. I'm just now starting to walk and to make a comparison. But I have found out you have a voice, you can have an opinion. But if you're going to come here and your opinion is going to disrupt and everything like that, then you can take your opinion and put your opinion out somewhere else. Make your own channel. If you don't like my channel, don't watch it. It's just simple. I don't see how people get so twisted up on YouTube. I don't get that. If there's a channel you don't like, don't watch it. Go find you a channel that you do like. And instead of being on a channel that you don't like and making negative comments that I don't give a shit about anyway. Go to a channel you like and make a positive comment. I hope when this pandemic is over that restaurants fill up, ballparks fill up, stadiums fill up, people shake hands, people hug, people realize sometimes what we take for granted that we have every day. In my, to me, um, I was just reading someone's comment. So I don't know. Like I said, I try to get to the point where I can think about it. Let me shut this door because my daughter and her friend is here. And the dog heard them, and he left and went down there with her. They're in the kitchen now. They was outside playing. My daughter was in color guard, and they usually have what's called winter guard. Well, they canceled that. They pretty much canceled everything, and so there's a little girl that moved in a couple doors down, and the other day I noticed she had a color guard flag, and she was out, playing with it and things like that. Uh, and I told my daughter about it, and she was out there with her flag this evening. So my daughter went out there with her flag, and I told her. My daughter's like, well, she probably uh, does color guard for one of her rival schools. Because see, my daughter actually lives in a different county than that I live in. We're only about 20 minutes apart. Uh, but yeah, I know. Well, the good thing about it, man, is I can go back and watch it right from the beginning. It's like on demand. So I can go back and just hit start over and watch it completely from the beginning. I'm a huge wrestling fan. If you guys don't know, that's how I picked my name, Ron Moxley. It's actually after two of my most um, my favorite wrestlers at this time in my life. That's how I picked my name. So I know it's corny, goofy. Um, but, it is what it is. It's my channel. I do, what I want to do with it. And if people don't like it, they don't have to be here. But anyways, um, getting back to what this Letitia Stout woman done is like Sweet Bobby said, incomprehensible. And let's see, somebody made a comment here, and it says, "Sweet, the lady who lost her three children, her and Old actually had natural triplets. God gave her back her babies in the order the lost babies were born in. I was in the hospital there. Oh, okay. Huh. Um, and Ange also says, incredible. Look up about the Brisbane mother whose husband murdered her three children. I really believe God saw her pain. It still makes me teary. Um, Donna Rey Mysterio is actually back. Now, he's not going to be a part of WrestleMania because he was having COVID-19 symptoms and they quarantined him to his house. So he won't be part of WrestleMania. No, Sweet Wilby, it's Braun after Braun Strowman. And then Moxley after John Moxley, who was known as Dean Ambrose in WWE. He left WWE and went to AEW, and um, he changed his name because anytime the WWE makes up a name for you, they copyright it. And then you like if you go to another federation like AEW or another company, then you can't take your name with you because WWE owns it. Well, he might need somebody to take care of him because he had COVID-19 symptoms, and they pulled him from the show. They pulled. Well, they didn't pull Roman Reigns. Roman made the decision where he is high risk. He battled leukemia about 13 years ago now, and he beat it. It was in remission. Um, Not this past October, but the October before that, he was the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns was. And he came out to the ring in street clothes with a microphone and said that his leukemia had came back and he was having to surrender the title belt. So he did, and it was just a couple of months later. He came back to the show and said that his leukemia had went back into remission again, which was great news, because he seems like a really good person. When you see him with his family and he's doing an interview, he seems like he's probably a really good guy. So, being high risk with leukemia in remission, he decided it would be a good move if he didn't participate in the show, and he was actually going to be fighting for the Universal Champion. He was going to take on Goldberg. I don't know if you guys remember Goldberg from the '90s in WCW, which Heather Weekly, she's on the channel a lot. She talks about how, and me and her was talking about, they took the belt off Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, who is so popular right now, and gave it to Goldberg, who's 50 something years old. And that doesn't make sense to me. And now Bray, the Fiend, is not even, having like a rematch for it, which doesn't make sense to me. And it really made it, wrestling, people say wrestling is fake. Wrestling is not fake. Wrestling is scripted. It's just like a television show. It's scripted. No, he might go to a different company, Donna, but he will not come back to WWE. I don't believe, because him and I guess Vince fell out, and I think he left on kind of bad terms. Ryback actually does a podcast on YouTube. I can't think of the name of it right now, uh, but it's Ryback. The reason he can still use the name Ryback is his name was, I think, Ryan Reeves. I believe it was Reeves. I'm not sure about that. I know it was Ryan. But he went and legally changed his name to Ryback. So since that's his legal name, even if WWE has Ryback copyrighted, they cannot make him not use it because it's, his legal name now. So, anyways, I know it's supposed to be like a true crime channel, but we talk about everything on here, so it's okay. I don't understand. Sweet Bilby, I watched that movie a couple years ago. I did not like that guy, Mickey Rourke. He came out and participated in WrestleMania, and he kind of supposed to clear house and beat up like 3 different people, and it just didn't. It just didn't look right. It didn't look like he should be there beating up these guys. But I don't know. Did I cry about what? Over the movie? No, Lord, no. Yeah, Goldberg, of course, he's bald. He's always been bald, but his goatee is just completely white. He's in his 50s, and I just can't believe they put the belt on him. Vince McMahon pretty much is the top guy in WWE. He's the owner, um, and pretty much what he says goes. And he's up in his 70s now. Vince McMahon is, and he needs to step down and let Triple H take over, because Triple H is doing NXT, which is on Wednesday night, going up against AEW, and Triple H's NXT show is 10 times better than what you watch on Monday Night Raw. If anybody else watches wrestling, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, Andre the Giant passed away in 1993 of a heart attack. He was in real bad shape towards the end of his career. WrestleMania 3, when he fought Hogan, was pretty much his last. It wasn't his last match, but it was riding towards the end of his career. If you watch a lot of his later matches after that, a lot of times he's in a tag team, and everything he does, he's where he can hold on to the ropes because he's in that bad shape. Yeah, Sweet Bilby. Andre the Giant is the reason that they created the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame. He was the first member, and right after he died, they created the WWE Hall of Fame, and he was the first person inducted into it right after he passed away. Well, Patricia, that was supposed to be the whole story of the the feud. It was Spear versus Spear, which we're not going to see now, obviously, because Roman pulled out. But guess who the person that took Roman's place? Braun Strowman. So Braun is going to go up against Goldberg for the Universal Championship, which I don't know why they haven't put the belt on Braun yet. I don't know if they don't trust him to have a good run or if he won't be a good draw. But I think Braun would make an excellent champion. I never liked Hacksaw Jim Duggan too much, Patricia. He just, that ho and he did always kind of got on my nerves. And Bruno Sammartino, he has the record for who held the best, the belt the longest. Ultimate Warrior was crazy. The Ultimate Warrior was put into the Hall of Fame, I think it was in 2014. He just made up with Vince. They did a DVD. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame on Saturday night. He was at WrestleMania on Sunday night after the Hall of Fame. He was on Monday Night Raw the night and cut a promo where he said, every day a man breathes his last breath. It was a long promo. But after watching it, and then the next morning he fell dead in the hotel parking lot where he stayed. So that promo that he cut on Monday Night Raw, if you go back and watch it, the words he said and then him falling dead the next morning was just really eerie. Yeah, Ange says, please don't forget to give a thumbs up. It's a way you can support the channel for free with a thumbs up or even a thumbs down. That helps too. I see I've got 2 thumbs up. I need to mute this. I have 2 thumbs down and 27 thumbs up. So if you don't mind, hit one of them. And thank you guys for doing that. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if the vents are closed in this room, but I have the air on it. It was really nice outside today. Yeah, I like the British Bulldog. There was a lot of wrestlers that have died at a young age due to steroid use and the things it does. Patricia says she thinks Roman's hair is nice. He does have a good head of hair. He's always got it so oiled down, though. Of course, all the members of the Shield always come out with their hair really oiled up. I don't know what the deal is. A lot of wrestlers seem to do that nowadays. I guess it's where it keeps their hair looking wet during the match. I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but they do. And but anyways, I wasn't going to stay on very long. The whole reason I come on I wanted to show you guys the dog. So if you wasn't here for the first of the show here, go back and watch it from the beginning because I've got a little dog now. His name is Scrappy, and he is such a sweet dog. You'll see him at the first of this video, and you just love him. I do already, and I'm glad I got him. He'll be good company for me in these times of being locked down. Not locked down, but quarantined. Really nothing to do except sit around the house and watch TV or get online. I might be able to get on more. You guys know I was working a lot of hours. A lot of you guys that keep up with me. Like a couple weeks, I did 84 hours a week, which was 7 days of 12 hours. And you do 2 weeks in a row like that, I'm telling you, you are mentally and physically exhausted. But anyways, where I work, which I'm not going to say where. See, that's another thing I talk about being green. When I first started my channel, I told everybody where I worked, whatever, it didn't matter. And when all my haters came out, they knew and called my work and different things like that. So I'm not going to say where I work, but we are shut down right now. We're laid off, and I should be eligible for unemployment insurance, which the governor has signed an executive order pretty much to get everybody's money to them, because if you're not working, you're not getting paid. And believe me, your landlord or your bank, they might let you defer on your payments, but the bad thing about that is you still going to owe that payment. There is an executive order in Kentucky, where I live right now, that it's against the law. The governor signed this in. You cannot evict anyone right now in the state of Kentucky for not paying their rent because they could be out of work. So right now, nobody, and the electric and water companies have came out and said at least till May, they will not do any disconnects for people not paying, because a lot of people right now are out of work. I'm hoping to get my first unemployment check pretty soon. I'm hoping so. That is correct, Sweet Bilby. No work equals no pay. Here in the United States, they usually don't let people like barbers, anybody that's self-employed or what's called like an independent contractor, usually are not eligible for unemployment. And with this executive order that our governor, Andy Beshear, has signed, these people are also eligible for unemployment. He's got it. To give you an idea of how many people in Kentucky during this pandemic. Now listen to this, guys. This is amazing numbers here. Last month, there was 2,000 people, 2,000 and some, it wasn't exactly 2,000, but 2,000 and some people that filed for unemployment in the state of Kentucky. This week, there was 143,000 people in the state of Kentucky that had signed up. When you go to the website for the unemployment insurance in the state of Kentucky, you know how like when you're trying to reach somebody on the phone and you just keep calling, it's busy, and you keep calling, it's busy, you keep calling, it's busy. When you go to this website, you have to keep hitting accept to try to get it. And finally, you'll get on. But I guess it's just where there's so many people trying to get on this site at the same time. They might overload the server or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen. But supposedly, you don't even have to call in your check. The company you work for is supposed to have all that taken care of. You're just supposed to, after 2 weeks of being off, which I'm at that point now, I should get an unemployment check direct deposited into my account, hopefully. Uh, yes, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and stay 6 feet away from people. Uh, this is spread by people coughing. It's spread through the lungs or like droplets in the air or what have you. Stay 6 feet away from people. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And hopefully it will flatten this curve. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go watch WrestleMania. If you didn't see the first of this, I hope you go back and watch so you can see the dog. I seen in the comments there a minute ago, it could be the Braun and Scrappy show. He seemed pretty camera shy. My daughter came in and he left the room and took off to go be with her. So, anyways, go back and check out the dog, Scrappy. But I might find his. I was reading a comment and just completely lost my train of thought. I am so. When I was younger, I could remember everything. As I get older, I can tell that I don't remember stuff as good as I used to. And I'll be reading a comment and completely forget what I was talking about. But somebody had made the comment that would be the Braun and Scrappy show, and we'll see about that because he seems pretty camera shy. I don't know. Good night, Ange. I love you. I love all you guys. I love all you guys that support me. Some of you guys have actually went to freaking battle for me, and I appreciate that. Of course, I'm telling you, Elysian, the older I get, the more brain farts I have. Believe me. Um, And some of these people say, well, Braun's fans are psychotic, crazy women. And that's just not the truth. There's guys on the channel, there's young women and older women, middle aged and older women. I can go to the analytics of my channel and find out what age group people is watching my channel. Um, but anyway, they can accuse you guys of being like psychotic and you go and attack people and blah blah blah. I've really never seen you guys attack anyone. I've kind of seen you defend yourself when some of them guys or people say stuff to you and you defend yourself. You have every right to do that. Um, well, Donna, hey, it is what it is. Um, I will say something about crazy women, but I'll just leave it there. Uh, but anyways, um, you guys that stuck by me, I appreciate it. The people that left and did what they did, I'm glad they left because I'll be honest with you guys, these kind of people, I wouldn't get along with them in real life, anyways, because um, I don't understand what would give me the right to go and reach out to someone's family and ask questions. What gives me that right to do that? What would motivate me to do that? I don't understand that. Um, well, thank you, Antoinette. I appreciate that. That's a very nice thing to say. Antoinette says, I'm super excited to see you. That's all that matters. I'm glad to see you. Thank you for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. Yes, rubbish took itself out, and I appreciate that the fact that they did that, Sweet Bilby. Um, there was a couple of people that um, really surprised me, and that's okay. I've talked to a few of you guys about it, and hey, I would rather you come up and tell me that you hate my fucking guts than come up and say you love me and then go tell this person over here how much you despise me or what have you. Just be straight up with people. Um, so, well, thank you, Jeannie. That really means a lot. You're a blessing to us, and you're a blessing to me. You really, guys, really are. You don't understand um, how many times. Well, even like tonight, my daughter's here, but she's got a friend over, and you know how teenagers are. Um, and when they have a friend over, yeah. Hey, quick question. Oh, hang on a second, guys. Let me mute this. Sorry about that, guys. My daughter came in and we was talking about when she was going home. Well, thank you, Donna. That's very nice of you to say. Antoinette, my email is braunmoxley@gmail.com. I think it pretty much has, Sweet Bilby, but I see some people that say, "Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that." Um, Patricia, listen how kind she is. I agree. Ron is a blessing to us all. Nice that he spends part of the evening with us. Well, Patricia, you spend part of your evening with me. So it goes. It's a two-way street. It goes both ways. So thank you. Your guys are a blessing to me. Um, so I appreciate you guys more than you know, and I don't think that you guys are psychotic and go and attack people on behalf of me. Um, I can't be, for instance, if one of you guys go and you say something to somebody, we have to realize as a civilized society, we can't. If you go and say something, I'm not responsible for that. Just like if I go and say something, you're not responsible for me saying that, and vice versa. If people that say something have to be responsible for what they say, it's on them. It's not on anyone else. Uh, so no matter what these people say, and I think it's so funny, some of the stuff they say, and some of the stuff like, oh, he's attacked me, and blah blah blah, and I'm sitting here thinking, I haven't attacked anyone. I go to work and I come home. That's pretty much all I do. Well, thank you, Fingal UK, for Scrappy Doo. You know what? That $5, that's about what I paid for his collar and his leash each was about $5. So that cover for Scrappy Doo, that'll cover either his collar or his leash, one or the other. Donna E, I do not have TikTok, but my daughter's really into that. She watches that a lot. Let me put this up on the screen because it's really nice when you guys do super chats. And I know that AD says this, and everybody says, "Oh, he's just like AD. He copied him." Blah blah blah. Uh, no, I didn't. But it's really nice when you guys donate money because I do have to buy stuff. People say, "Well, you didn't get a green screen." Obviously, I do have a green screen. Uh, People said a green screen costs $500. No, they don't. Um, you can hang a green sheet up. It's the software uh, that puts this up on the wall. It's nothing to do with the green. All the green screen is it makes what you're putting up there on a certain color. That's like if I wore a green shirt right now, you would not see my body of where my shirt's on. Um, so and says, we do have our own brain. We aren't sheeple. Exactly. And it's really sad that people can't understand that. Really sad. And I just can't. It's almost comical to me the fact when people will say I'm responsible for something that happened to them. No, I'm not. We have, sweet Belby, we have, but um, you don't have to explain one thing. Remember that, Mr. Moxley. Well, thank you, Miss Wallace, and I appreciate that, and I agree completely. That's like the videos. We demand answers. Well, who the hell are you to demand anything of me? I don't know you shit. It's awfully funny. Here's the thing I thought was funny when they said, "Oh, he's a crook, he's a con man," and the people that were saying this never donated a dime. I will say this: people say, "Oh, he won't answer these questions." I do answer these questions. Um, the lady that paid the girl's electric bill, I've been in contact with her through emails and showed her proof. And the reason I've done that is because I owed her the fact to show her proof. But the person over here that didn't give a penny, I don't owe that person an explanation, even if it's demanded of me. Um, so I'm not going to explain. You just have to deal with that. And that's your problem. And this person on their channel, their voice is almost like nails down a chalkboard to me. I don't see how people can sit and listen to that voice for 15, 20 minutes. And there's probably a lot of people that don't like my voice for an hour and a half. But if you're sitting in the room watching, it's your choice. You can leave. You know what I'm saying? I used to never say that. When I first started, I was like, no, don't leave. You say what you want to say, blah, blah, blah. But the simple fact of it is, and I don't understand this, people that don't like the channel come in and watch so they can go make a video about something I might have gotten wrong. And I just I don't understand that. I'm a human being. I'll get shit wrong. We all will. Nobody's perfect. People that come on here and they talk about the Bible, different things like that. If you believe in the Bible, it says, he without sin can cast the first stone. Think about the meaning of that. What's happened has changed me a lot to the fact that I have no right to do anything to anybody. Nothing. I have no right to question them. Nothing. They can do what they want to do the same way I can do what I want to do. You guys are here, and if you want to be here, you can be here. And if you don't have to be. I mean, it is so simple. That's why I don't understand why some people make it so complicated, and it doesn't make any sense. Hello, Pilot Pete. How are you? But anyway, guys, I was only going to stay a few minutes, and it's been an hour and a half. So, oh, yeah, sweet baby, I know, I agree completely. And it was on screen, and it didn't amount to a hill of beans. What you said in your email. You know, they said there was women coming out of the woodwork that I had groomed and sexually assaulted and was a predator. And I'm sitting here thinking I had a sexual conversation with one woman. Who's all the women coming out of the woodwork? People said, "Oh God, you need to get rid of your channel." Ange Wallace, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. For Master Scrappy, not you, Braun, the dog. LOL. I'll remember that. I know people's going to say, "Oh God," because they say I must have watched AD and copied him. And you know, I did parodies of AD when I first started my channel, And I quit doing them because what happened to me kind of made me realize what I was doing to him was kind of what they was doing to me. And it made me realize that what makes me have the right to question him. You know what I mean? And I'll probably get a lot of flack for saying that, but it's the truth. Um, Ange here has donated for $4.49 to Master Scrappy, not to me, but to the dog. But now, can I hand the dog $4.49 and let him go down to the store and spend it? No, I will have to take it and spend it on something for him, myself, that I think he will like. So, um, and another thing, where are all these women now? When you live alone, LOL. Please come. I know I'm such a predator, and grooming women. And the funny thing is, this woman was older than me. Um, but I don't get it. And here's another thing. It seems like when you get to 1,000 subscribers, I don't know if they're jealous because they've been on about the same time I have, and I've got over 4,000 subscribers. And I'm not bragging. I mean, I'm impressed because I never thought 4,000 people would want to watch my channel, and I'm sure 4,000 people don't. There's only 34 people here right now, but they may watch it later. I don't know. I know I have that many subscribers, and these people have been doing these things. They don't even have 1,000 yet, and they say, "Oh, they don't do it for the money, what have you." Well, I mean, I really don't do it for the money either, obviously, because I can't make a living on it. But if you sit here for an hour and a half and you do a live and somebody donates money to you, people get pissed off about that. Oh God, he's doing it for money. All he cares about is donations. I don't ever say anything about it anymore. When all this shit come up, said, "Oh, he did this and he did that." I told you guys I would never collect money for anyone again, and I never will. And that's sad in a way because we really helped a girl named Kayla, and I'm not going to say her last name, but her name was Kayla. We helped this girl pay her electric bill in the month of December, right around Christmas. And I've showed Ange the email where she emailed me and thanked me and said, "Hey, we've got electricity at Christmas because of your channel." And we really helped someone. And the fact that all this came up and now we won't ever do that again, it's sad in a way, but um, it's really just not worth it. Antoinette says, "Brian, you're a solid dude, and many can't handle it, so they need to trash you because it makes them feel better. But at the end of the day, you're still that solid dude, and they are trash." Thank you, Antoinette. That really does mean a lot. That's a very kind thing for you to say. Um, and messages like that do mean a lot to me. Hello, El Rich. How are you? Um, Sweet Bilby says, "Antoinette, spot on." And I agree completely. And then people say, "Oh, he agrees with everything." Someone says, I do agree with you guys. A lot of you guys are here because we do agree with each other because we are kind of people that have the same interest, have the same opinion. That's why you're here, and that's why you're watching me on the channel, because pretty much we kind of think the same way and different things like that. So, yeah, we probably will agree with each other a lot. Now, there's been times that I have disagreed with you people, never brought up. You know, we can agree to disagree. If you don't think I'm right and you say it, hey, there's not a problem there. Vice versa. If you say something and I don't agree with it, to me, there's no problem there. We just disagree on a certain point. Uh, Annie says, "Antoinette, right. We all live and learn, and that's why we are drawn to each other." Agreed. Agree completely. Um, Oh my God, I agreed with you guys. Oh my God. Um, Bron, do you love music? Um, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Do I love live music? Is that what you meant? Uh, I think maybe you had an autocorrect here, so maybe you can ask me again. I don't know if you're asking me if I love live music or if you're just asking me if I love music. If you can say question that again. Uh, Sweet Wilby says, how many of us would give up our time or just have the balls to open ourselves up and go live on YouTube? You know, um, how much do I like music? I don't know. I like music. I think music gets us through the world sometimes. Um, you know, sometimes you hear a song and it takes you back to a certain point in your life and things like that. When I now the funny thing is, and Donna E, I'll tell you this little story. I'm 43 years old, and I do notice that the older I have gotten, um, for instance, in the car, when I was younger, I always had the radio on, and a lot of times I would have it up really loud. And I have noticed here lately that a lot of times I'll drive all the way to work, which is about 30 minutes, and I won't even turn the radio on. And when I was younger, I would never do that. But I do love music. On my iPod, on my iPhone, I have anything from Ice Cube to Don Williams, if you know who that is. So, but sometimes at night, I'll put my earbuds in and fall asleep listening to music. And a lot of songs take you back, and especially when if it takes you back to a time like when you're at a school dance or something like that, um, things like that. But hey, anyway, guys, it's been almost. I keep saying this, but I'm going to run because I want to watch WrestleMania, and I'll tell you guys this: if you order the WWE Network for $9.99, the first month's free. All you have to do is put your credit card in. And if you want to cancel before the month ends, it won't charge you anything. So if you want to get the first month free, you can watch WrestleMania for free. Just so you guys know, you'll just have to cancel your subscription before it goes into the next month. So if any of you guys are wrestling fans and you want to watch WrestleMania, there's how you can do it. You have to put your credit card in, but cancel it before the second month. You won't owe a dime, and you can watch WrestleMania for free. But you guys have a good night. Um, I'll try to be. If I'm on, it'll be on later tomorrow. My daughter and her friends here, and thank you guys for being here with me. I appreciate it more than you know. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm so cute answering that. Ans, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a mod. Um, I know Sarah's not here, and I haven't seen Kelly, but thank those guys too. They do so much behind the scenes. Um, Kelly and Sarah went through the Facebook page. I don't know if they got everybody that was running back and forth and carrying tales and screenshots. Probably not. I doubt you'll ever clean out everybody that's here just for reasons that's um, nefarious and it doesn't make any sense to be here for that reason. I don't understand that. And I say this a lot, and you guys know it. Why stay on a channel you hate and be negative? And when you can go to a channel you like and be positive. I don't get it, but I guess. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go lay on the couch with Scrappy. He's going to sleep, and I'm probably going to watch WrestleMania, but I might fall asleep too because I like sleeping too. But anyway, guys, love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. It means a lot. I really wish I could be on more. I really do because I really do like doing this, and especially at first, before everything went nuts. And it seemed like it went nuts after 1,000 subscribers. Like people got mad. Oh God, he's monetized now. That asshole. He's doing it. And I know that AD says this, but I'm telling you, it's the ad revenue is really not much at all. Now, when people give super chat, yeah, that adds up. It really does, and it's nice. Um, and you can buy things with it, like a green screen or a new camera or a new microphone, whatever you want to buy with it. If somebody donates to you, fuck them. I don't know why these people get so pissed off about that. Stupid. But they can kiss our asses. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? But anyway, guys, love you. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for spending your evening with me. And hopefully and maybe I will see you guys tomorrow night. But you all have a good evening, good night, good morning, whatever time of the day it is. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.